And our final finalist for this round is John Korkidis, the founder of Proposition Cocktail Company. Come on up. How's it going? Good to see you again. This is the clicker. Cool. Just mind your timer.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank, first of all, BevNet for inviting me back. It's a pleasure and opportunity to be here, and I'm excited to be here for day 2 to continue pitching my product. I'm the founder of Proposition Cocktail Co., and in the words of the founder of Red Bull, if we don't create the market, it does not exist. And that's exactly what we're doing at Proposition Cocktail Co. Welcome to a new era of plant-based wellness. Today's modern consumer is living increasingly stressful lives and looking for healthier ways to feel good. They're in need of products that fit seamlessly into their routines, align with their values, and serve multiple functions. So today we're introducing the world's first ready-to-drink CBD cocktail. Our cocktails are always all-natural, non-alcoholic, and designed to help you relax without any intoxicating effects. Made from ethically sourced botanicals, fruits, and herbs found in common and craft cocktails, they're easy to use and drink with no change in natural consumer behavior. You can kind of think of our cocktails as social lubricants that enable familiar experiences in traditional settings. Multifunctional and perfectly balanced, simply enjoy over ice. Or you can top with soda water for a refreshing spritz. Alternate, you can mix with alcohol and for a low-calorie, all-natural mixer. Our products are made from legally compliant CBD-dominant hemp extract. They're made from specially select industrial hemp plants, but it's not just about the CBD in our products. There's a broad spectrum of cannabinoids and trace amounts of terpenes also. And our products are always free of GMOs, gluten, wheat, vegan. They're vegan, yeast, soy, dairy, and have no preservatives. We've designed our products for our stressed out, yet health-conscious consumer class. And we're quickly building habitual use with both the canna-curious and the sober-curious alike. They're turning to our products to deliver clean energy, cognitive benefits, stress relief, and the oh-so-ever ambiguous sense of well-being. The $22 billion hemp CBD market is expected to outpace the rest of the cannabis market and drove over $600 million in sales last year alone. On top of that, the functional beverage market is by far the fastest growing product category, and this year is set to surpass $93 billion. To capture this market, we're developing an omni-channel sales strategy and building direct-to-consumer e-commerce channels, as well as member subscription programs. We're also unlocking limited distribution retailers in key markets that are aligned with our values and can help us create unified experiences offline as well. In addition, we're exploring strategic partnerships with brands like Barney's, Playboy's, Ace Hotel, and more. We fit seamlessly into grab-and-go cafes and fast casual takeaway. Lifestyle and wellness luxury retailers love us. Boutique hotel partnerships are the perfect fit, and high-end food and beverage programs are a no-brainer. In addition, we're also working with our consumers to better understand how they use our products and develop new ones via experiential pop-ups and in-person collaborations. We're even developing larger formats for festivals, concerts, nightclubs, and after hours. I'm personally very deeply rooted in the cannabis community and have been using my platform to educate consumers about the responsible use of cannabinoids for some time. And this has been the platform that I use to test my craft recipes before bringing them to market. We're excited for what the future has in store for us as we build this new category, but as we move forward into this new era of plant-based wellness, I think it's important for all of us in this room, also primarily white males, to recognize that cannabis is a civil rights issue, and before we get involved in commerce, we have to truly understand the plant and make an effort to right the wrongs that the war on drugs has disproportionately affected large groups of people. So whenever Proposition is on stage and has an opportunity, we'll always use our platform as a catalyst conversation. We hope that you enjoy our products just as much as our consumers, and thanks again for the opportunity.
Nicely done. Good job.
A little more of a nervous pitch, but.
Dan, what do you think of John's presentation? And is there something that you want us to know more about that you have a question for him?
No, I thought he did a good job sort of giving an overview and what his goals and missions are. I would start with my first question would be around function. And with 15 milligrams of CBD, is that enough to have some sort of impact or effect if you're actually trying to have a one-for-one replacement for a margarita or for a...
Absolutely not. It's arguably anecdotal. I think the big thing for everyone in this room to recognize is that CBD on its own, arguably without real dosing, doesn't do much, right? So there are scientific studies that show you roughly need about your body weight per day in milligrams over the course of several weeks to see any real relief from things like inflammation. But what we've created is an all-natural alternative to alcohol that does have anecdotal mood-enhancing effects. There's a lot of power in the placebo, and that will be studied in the future. And I think that what we also have to understand is a lot of the clinical studies aren't there yet. So 15 milligrams potentially could have benefits, but we just don't know. But definitively today, the answer is no.
Lee, we've heard a couple times today and throughout the conference that there's a need and there's an interest in non-alcoholic or alcoholic beverage alternatives. Do you see it that way, and how is Whole Foods thinking about that potential?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of movement to it. I think there's an exciting new landscape that's kind of emerging. I think kind of on that note, though, just looking on the packaging on the back, you have serve over ice, great as a mixer. I think you kind of need to pick a lane if you're going to be a mixer or full-on RTD. And I would encourage you to think about the turns in the categories. In the mixer category, it's going to be drastically lower than something that's ready to drink and can actually be more accessible out in food service or bars. But if you do it as a mixer, typically that aisle doesn't get as much traffic and it really won't get as much exposure as it could. I think it can stand on its own from the CBD component for a while, but one way or the other, you need to decide what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, first and foremost, these are non-alcoholic cocktails. They just so happen to be designed to be perfectly paired with booze. So that one you're holding right there, great with gin and vodka. And I think what I tried to create was a multifunctional product. Today's modern, time-poor yet information-rich consumers are looking for products that have multiple functions. So at times, maybe the daytime, you might want to top that with soda water and have a nice refreshing spritz. Or in the evening, you might want to mix with some booze. Maybe that day you went to the gym or were living like kind of clean and didn't want alcohol. So what we've created is a product that allows people to use this the way that they want to and fits seamlessly into their everyday lives.
Kalam, what do you think of the package? That flask bottle kind of stands out. What's your take?
Yeah, I think the flask is great. I think it's super differentiated, and it really helps to communicate the proposition, which is great in the CBD space. There's so many CBD beverages that don't have a clear function or a use. So I like kind of the vibe you're going with, and I think your brand name's really good too.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we haven't talked about taste, and well, John.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. That spicy margarita is pretty spicy, actually. It's interesting. I think there's a lot of good stuff here. I mean, taste is great. I agree that the packaging is catchy. To me, to some extent, the CBD seems sort of like a distraction. I think this is a pretty solid mixer product. I guess I have a hard time believing that it's something that, will function well in grab and go and fast casual where you're going to pick up a flask and drink it. And it's, I think, probably a little too sweet for, at least for me to drink right out of the bottle. But I do think there's, these flavors for sure would translate great to a ready to drink. If you thin that out, I mean, sparkling water in it, something like that, as would the branding. I think, kind of similar to what the other folks have said, it's just picking a lane. You're small and you can't do everything at once. Just be good at one of those things, be super good at it. And if you think mixers and being a cocktail product is your foot in the door, then just focus on that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, right today we're already seeing some traction in retail, and the way that we see it is that we're extending actually the waning hours in cafes between 3 and 7 p.m. while they're still operating, but aren't serving as much coffee. So what a barista might do is actually put this in a glass and serve it over ice and hand it to you. Very similarly, in regulated environments, a bartender would have a nice 2x2 ice cube and garnish it and hand it to you. So we're kind of creating that vibe. Almost a seed lip on the menu is what we plan to be for more traditional F&B, but for retailers, we're actually seeing, for cafes, we're actually seeing, and those grab and goes, this being a really strong, viable option, and the consumers love the product, because in San Francisco, for example, in the daytime, people do tend to reach for a drink or a cocktail, and this is something that more and more is appealing to them.
Great stuff. Well done, John.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.